All right, first, Mike New was the first person that I connected with on this campus when I got here, outside of Brady and Beth Getz, who I had prior relationships with. So, I want to acknowledge that and the things that he was able to accomplish here. He did some things here that had never been done. I understand that this is a business. Trust me, nobody understands that part of it more than Mike and I. And we're built for these things, right? When you get into this stuff, you know what you're getting into. But it never makes it easier, especially when you understand, as us coaches do, the human side of this, right? A lot of times people, fans, look at us as commodities, so to speak. And I'm not worried about Mike, but I do feel for his family, because I understand how those things go. But I do want to publicly, thank Mike for our friendship, which will continue, and the things that he poured into his football program, the relationships that he had with his players, and nobody cares about this place from that perspective than him. Obviously, being able to coach at his alma mater, and I'm sure he's going to have the opportunity to step back and look at some things and may end up in a better place. But I did want to thank him and just what he's done for this place. And it's a business, and like I said, him and I understand that. We also understand that when you're the football coach and the basketball coach at a university, you're held to higher standards, and we signed up for that, and that's the business part of it. But I think he did a lot of good things for Ball State, and now it's a new chapter. As far as this game, very disappointing. Disappointing because of how we played the last 28 minutes at Dayton. Our defensive effort today was not what I expected. We didn't perform on that end of the floor at the level that obviously we need to. When you give up 94 points, you give up 58 points in the second half, and then just like some other times, we get offensive sensitive, and it affects our offense. For us to play a 40-minute game with 11 assists is really hard to stomach, and that's my responsibility. I haven't been able to hit the right buttons. I haven't been able to find the combination of 5 guys that can perform in sync with each other, and are about the team and about winning. And I got to do a better job with that. I thought the first half they were they took 9 twos the first half, made eight threes, and then the second half we wanted to be much more geared to stopping the three-pointer, and it became a layup drill. We got to do a much better job of guarding the ball. I'm not sure if we have anybody that can contain the basketball, and the frustrating part with that is they don't have breakdown guards. Teal's got a little wiggle in him, but he's not a jet. Like he's a good basketball player. That's not what I'm saying. But you've got to be able to contain the ball, and we're going to have a lot more opportunities this year to play against guards that have a lot more speed, quickness, and wiggle to them than him. And our ball screen coverage in the second half was poor. We couldn't get our bigs or our guards in sync in what we were doing there, and it became a layup drill. So until we can contain the ball, it's going to be very difficult for us to find ways to win. I thought we did a much better job at Dayton in playing some guards that have a little bit more juice and wiggle, and we weren't able to do that tonight, and that's disappointing, and it's a reflection of this team, which is my responsibility.
I feel
Very disappointed in what we were able to do today.
I feel like you guys started off this game better in the past. You're up 7-0, but I feel like after a few minutes, the aggression kind of toned down. Why was that?
Why was that?
Yeah.
I wish I had the answer. That's why this team is poorly coached right now. I don't have that answer.
Yeah.
We got to the first media timeout. I think we had five deflections.
Yeah.
We had 5 deflections at the first media timeout. Right? I think we ended the game like in the teens. Just a complete lack of activity, complete lack of aggressiveness and hands. But to have that number, and we talked about it at the first media timeout, like this is why we're here. Like this is good. Like they're going to rain in some threes, right? That's just what they do, right? But it can't break your spirit, and our defensive activity went downhill from there.
Yeah, I feel like last year the team kind of had that same issue. Do you think seeing that last year might help you figure that out with this team this year?
Last year's problem was athleticism and overall ability. That's not this year's team.
Yeah, I think especially kind of getting some guys off the bench to produce for you guys tonight. When maybe like Britton Watts had a little bit of an off night tonight. When some of those leading guys have those off nights, how important is it to kind of have those guys that can step up into those roles when you need them like that?
Depth is always a value. I think we have 5 guys in double figures tonight. But so did they. They shot 20. Like not a lot of those free throws were at the end, but it was just a layup drill. It was just an absolute layup drill. We wanted to try to force them to play inside the 3-point line, but there's a difference from forcing 15, 17-foot pull-ups and a layup drill, and we just couldn't get in sync, and obviously, very poor decision on my part at halftime.
Yeah.
I never imagined us not being able to contain those guys off the bounce.
Peyton, before the first 3 games, you only took 9 shots. Tonight you took 11. What was different about tonight?
Just getting more comfortable. I wouldn't say I was slumping or anything like that. I just gotta, just fire my shots, within the team's offense. Not trying to force anything, but just stay aggressive. They look for me, but also just pick my shots.
Kind of for both you players, kind of on a similar note, but for both of you, you guys were able to produce a little bit more on that scoring end than you have kind of up to this point in the season. What kind of allowed for you guys to be able to capitalize on some of the opportunities that were presented tonight in this game?
I just wanted to be more aggressive. I didn't think I was being aggressive the first couple of games, and I was kind of being a little passive, but just what the defense was giving me, and I just wanted to punch them inside and set the tone. So.
Just playing with the team that they gave me, just attack the gaps, play with the flow within this game.
Coach, you said some of the issues you kind of put on yourself as a coach. What areas do you think you can improve on?
Well, we got to find somebody, preferably more than one, that can contain the basketball, and it's got to mean something. We were in a timeout. We're talking about Teal. And I'm not going to call out the player because it doesn't matter. But we're talking about Samaj Teal, and we've got to be able to guard him. And it's just a reflection of our mentalities, and that's what has to change first. Right? Your mentality has to change before you have then you can start using your physical abilities to try to do some other things. But one of our guys made a comment of he's got 9 points. I got him, he's got 9 points. Well, no, he doesn't have 9. He's got 14 points and 11 assists. So he probably accounted for 35, 37, 39 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, he's not scoring, but you're getting blown by so much that we have to help so much that he's just dropping it off for guys. Completely dominated the game. He was by far the best guard on the floor tonight, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah. Kind of late in the game when you guys had a couple of chances to kind of close the gap a little bit. There seemed to be a little bit of miscommunication on kind of what was happening, whether wanted to foul, whether not to foul. What kind of were you wanting down that final stretch?
I know, and it was aggression, but we had 3 consecutive possessions where we fouled, where we wanted to take away the inbounds pass, which we made difficult. We wanted to trap the first pass, and then if they got that, we wanted to, we were going to continue the pressure, but when they got into the half court, we were going to try to, if it got in Harding's hands, we were going to foul him. If not, we were going to play it out. and try to make them, try to get a stop that way. And 3 consecutive times we fouled. That, off the top of my head, I didn't think were necessary, but I think it was just guys trying to be aggressive and make plays. But, again, that's not what we were set up to do. We wanted to try to get a deflection on the inbounds pass, one hard trap. If 15 got it, we'd foul him at any time. And if not, play out the possession, try to get a stop and come down and score. But we couldn't get that through. And that wasn't the only thing. There was a couple other, we talked at how we didn't need home runs, and our next 2 shots were forced threes. So.
Take away the basketball part of the game for a minute. I know you're wearing the ALS shirt. How important was it playing in that game for that?
I'm sorry, what?
For the ALS, for the Hoops for ALS, like how important is that to you?
Well, I think, any time that you have an opportunity to use your platform to try to help causes, any cause, let alone something that's close to you, I think it's your responsibility to do so. I think one thing that I think is missing, maybe missing is not the right word, but isn't looked upon as much with everything that's going on in college athletics, is everybody's about me. I want my money, I want this, I want that, all the different things. It's a me world, and I hope I didn't talk to these guys about why we're playing the game, but I hope that they understand and see because of what they get to do, that we have a responsibility to use our platforms to try to help, and it's about others, and it's not about me. And I think these guys are, and it's no fault of their own, it's just the situations that they're in, and the people that are around them is everything's get yours. And in reality, when you're able to help others, I think that's the most important. So obviously we try to raise some awareness and some funds for ALS, trying to find a cure. I hope these guys look at it from a different perspective. When they have opportunities to use, their visibility and things to try to help somebody else or help an organization, that they have an example of some people that are trying to do so.
And for the players, kind of the same question. How important is it playing in a game like that?
There's a different meaning to it. You just want to go out there and just give it your all, because a lot of people want to be in your shoes and give them the same opportunity. But you play your heart out, and that's all you can do, and that's all they want. So.
Like he said, we just wanted to go out there, play hard, represent.
I didn't share with them the background. Now, if they read about it on social media or they saw a video or whatever, I didn't share it with them because it's not their burden, right? I put them in this game. We were going to play in the game in Ohio for the same cost. Ohio's just going to host the game, so that they don't know, but unless they read about it. So I just for them, I just hope that they saw that you give when there's much given to you, there's a lot of responsibility. You got to be able to give that stuff back.
Yeah.